I'm at the airport and I have just checked in for my first international flight for almost 2 years. I'm getting to use my passports, I've got my boarding passes, and I'm all set to go. Now, as you can imagine, a lot of people would be pretty apprehensive about flying at the moment. So in this video, what I'm going to do is demystify the process. What's involved? What are the little quirks? What tips do you need to know? What do you need to do to prepare? And what is flying like? Our borders here in Australia have been closed for a long time, so now that they're open, it's time for us to get out there and really explore the world again. So join me and we'll fly from here. I'm in Brisbane, and we'll go with Singapore Airlines up to Singapore, transit through Singapore over to Colombo in Sri Lanka. I am going because I'm escorting the very first Bunnik Tours international tour in almost 2 years, so that's why I'm so excited, because one, Sri Lanka is brilliant, and two, this is the start of the recovery. So join me and let's have some fun.
So let's have a look at the pre-trip requirements. These were actually not too bad, with 4 relatively easy requirements for this trip. First, I needed to get the international version of my vaccine certificate. This is easily done with the MyGov and Medicare apps, and basically links your passport details to your vaccine certificate. It also has a QR code that can be read by immigration authorities around the world. The second step was to get my pre-departure PCR test. These need to be booked and paid for through special clinics, which was easy enough to do. Whether you need a test and how long before departure you need it depends on your destination and which countries you are transiting through. In my case, for the Singapore transit, my PCR test needed to be within 48 hours of departure. These requirements change quite regularly, so your travel agent, tour operator or airline will be able to advise you on the latest requirements for your trip. Next, I needed to apply for my Sri Lankan visa. This is a simple online process, and I got my approval within a few hours. The final step was completing the Sri Lankan Health Declaration form. Again, this was online, and as part of it I needed to upload both my vaccination certificate and negative PCR test results. Once completed, they give you a QR code that you need to show upon arrival in Colombo. One big tip is to make sure you have both printed and electronic copies of your vaccine certificate and test results, and allow plenty of time at the airport. Because every PCR lab presents their results in a slightly different way, it takes time for the check-in staff to interpret them. And, as with all travel, a little bit of patience and good humour go a long way in making the whole process stress-free for everyone. I live in Adelaide, but I was flying out of Brisbane today, and this is because airlines are still in the process of rebuilding their schedules. Whilst most COVID checkpoints have been removed from Australia's airports, consumer demand is still pretty low, so don't expect every airline to have daily flights, or for all of the airport shops and cafes to be open. Hopefully though, it's not too long before our airports are again buzzing with excited travellers.
Just heading to the gate now. This is really the longest period that I've gone without using my passport since I was probably 16. Just feels weird now getting on an international flight again. It's so cool, so cool. I've managed to get some early access to the aircraft, so I can show you what an aircraft looks like now. We have a quick look at business class, because yes, business class still does exist, and it is a great way to fly. On this flight, I'm in the back, but hey, it's Singapore Airlines. It's always a great way to fly. Singapore Airlines has always been one of my favourite airlines, and the A350 is my favourite aircraft type at the moment. It is absolutely stunning. And I just thought I'd show you the business class cabin. This is the regional business class on Singapore Airlines. Lie flat beds, individual little pods. These ones here are great for couples where they're closer together, and then behind there the seats are further apart with easier access to the aisle. The window seats also alternate I flew the inaugural flight with this business class product a few years back when it was launched on the Perth route, and I can tell you these seats are very, very comfortable, and this is a wonderful way to fly. So if you're ever going to fly business class, I'd recommend you give this a go. There's also a second business class cabin here with just 3 rows, and then through to the economy class. And these seats are all ergonomically designed, a good amount of legroom, lots of in-flight entertainment, all the mod cons that you would have. But as the flight progresses, I will show you a little bit more of that.
We will be departing shortly. The flight time to Singapore is 6 hours and 55 minutes.
There's something really nice about that moment. You turn onto the runway and you take off, leaving Australian shores for the first time in a long time. Brilliant. Listen to those engines power up. How good's that?
Now that we're up in the air, let's have a closer look at these Singapore Airlines economy class seats. These are the regional versions, so don't have a leg rest. That said, they're very comfortable and provide a good amount of support. I love seats that are designed with practicality in mind, and these seats have it in spades. The seat back pocket has various pouches so you can keep all your stuff organised. The tray table is excellent and has both full and half modes. It even has a mirror. The separate cup holder is very handy. Above this is the entertainment screen, which can be adjusted for optimum viewing and has conveniently placed headphone and USB power sockets. There is also a universal power point between each seat. These seats have a good amount of recline, and the seat base moves forward to accentuate the feeling of recline. The headrests, as expected, are fully adjustable. Overall, an excellent seat.
A gin and tonic? That can mean only one thing. Cheers. Here's to a great flight. Oh, nice and strong too. This is going to be one sensational flight.
Not long after takeoff, it was time for lunch. I went with a butter chicken. It smelt wonderful and tasted just as good. Dessert was a tub of delicious mango gelati, which claimed to be good for the soul. Very much like travel, really. I can confirm that as I was eating this on my first international flight in 2 years, my soul felt pretty damn good. So what are the changes to the Singapore Airlines onboard experience due to COVID? Well, not too much really. You need to wear a mask when you're not eating or drinking. There are hand sanitizer pumps outside the bathrooms. The crew wears masks and glasses, and the menus are now online via the entertainment system. Onboard duty-free sales have moved onto the entertainment system as well, with your purchases being delivered to your home or your next flight. One of the advantages of moving the menus onto the onboard Wi-Fi system is that you can now also have a sneaky peek at what they are eating up the front. Knowing that I was filming, the cabin service manager came over and gave me some of the amenities they offer on this flight, together with my new trip mascot. I really love this about Singapore Airlines. Every one of their staff is so proud of their airline, and it is reflected in the service every step of the journey. He also gave me the latest version of the Singapore Airlines Business Class Amenities Kit. It's a beautiful design inside and out. The contents are limited to a Ziploc bag and potions and lotions in the form of a lip balm, face mist and hand cream. Toothbrushes and all the other stuff is available in the bathrooms. We flew between the clouds for pretty much most of this flight, so there wasn't much to see. However, eventually it did clear up above us and we got some nice views to accompany that exquisite A350 wingtip. Finally, let's have a look at the entertainment options on board. Singapore Airlines Chris World entertainment system is excellent, with plenty of viewing and listening choices. The interactive moving map is brilliant. This aircraft was Wi-Fi enabled, with up to 2 hours free of charge on this flight. It worked well, and I was able to post some pictures to my Instagram and respond to the lots of lovely messages I got celebrating the fact that I was back in the air. I then spent the rest of the flight working on this video and listening to music, and before long we were starting our descent into Singapore.
That was one sensational flight. So good to be back in the air. Ahmed, thank you.
Thank you.
Really, really
Pleasure
nice.
to have you today.
Thank you. It's been really, really nice. Thank you. Bye. Really, really good flight. All right, now we get to see what the transfer arrangements are like here at Singapore Changi Airport. Now, with quite a few COVID infections in Australia at the moment, I do believe that we get special treatment, so we'll see what that's like. So it turns out I was wrong. There was no special treatment, but that's what travelling with COVID is like at the moment. Things change all the time, so I believe I'm just free to go into the terminal. But I won't have to go far because we're actually departing from the same gate that we arrived at, same aircraft type. And in fact it is the same aircraft, and not only that, it is the same seat. I've got 68k on the way from Singapore to Colombo as well, so I'll make myself at home here in a couple of hours from now when we take off to Colombo. In the meantime, let's go and have a wander around Singapore Airport, see what's open. It's certainly not as busy as I've seen it here in the past, but that said, there's still plenty of shops open, although I'd say probably just under half the shops are open. Quite a few people around, quite a few crew around. Maybe that's what's making it look a little bit busier than what it actually is. The flight to Colombo was also excellent. It featured a very tasty chicken curry, some British comedy and a nap. The best bit though was the fact that this flight was pretty much full, an excellent sign for the Sri Lankan tourism industry. It's a good sign that Colombo Airport is very busy. Ayubowan. And just like that, I'm in Sri Lanka. It's fantastic to be here, and the airport formalities were actually quite easy. Going through and through immigration, pick up your bags, through customs, and then there's one extra little step where that online health form you filled out and you got your QR code, you show them that, and they give you a little receipt to where they've checked your formalities, and you're free to exit the airport and enjoy this incredible country. Look, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. There's a whole lot of other travel videos on there and flight reviews and a lot more on the way. But most importantly, if you get the chance, do travel. Tourism is such an important employer around the world. So many people depend on tourism, and it plays a vital role in helping to break down barriers and create understanding between cultures. So now that the world is starting to open up, get out there and explore it, because in reality, as you've seen, it's actually not that scary. Now let's go and enjoy Sri Lanka.